All right, here we go.
Yes. I see you got a nice shirt on there.
Man,
Keeping it
listen,
loose
with
for
this heat,
Christmas.
this Brisbane heat, man. Oh my gosh, for Christmas. You know
Mm,
what? It's so weird. Like over here, like
yeah.
in 30, what, 32, 33, 34 degrees. It just
Wow.
doesn't feel like Christmas, does it? So when I think
Man.
back of home time, freezing my
Yeah.
balls off, like in the winter car, I want a bit of that. I just want a little bit of that, maybe like a couple of weeks of that, and then but
Frozen balls. That's what I'm doing right now. Frozen balls.
exactly. Boy, it
It's
doesn't look that
rainy. It's
cold.
wet. It's le miserable. Well, it's
Miserable.
warm in the house, but outside it's really miserable.
Mm,
But
mm,
it's Christmas,
mm.
so at the same time, it isn't miserable. It's cool, so I can't complain too
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
Can't complain.
So listen, look, folks. This is this is the Christmas episode. So this
Yeah.
is we're doing this on the 26th of December. This is Boxing Day for us, and wherever you are in the world, hope you had a great holiday season, great Christmas, great whatever it is that you're celebrating. And Deval and I, we're in the hot seat once again. We're going to be
Mhm.
bringing you some reviews. We've got hopefully we've got time for 3 film reviews this week. And we're gonna just basically get into this whole thing. So, Deval, first up, who we shouting out?
Yeah, we've got a few shout outs. First one goes out to Ciel Noir 3. We've shouted
Mm,
out her a few times on the show. She's a really great Instagram. What's the word? I would call Ciel Noir 3 Instagram almost like an ambassador of positivity. That's what I would
nice.
say. Positivity in your mentality, in your physicality, working out, meditating, being positive, and that's what she really does. So you got to go to her page. You'll see she works
Yeah,
out quite a lot, and she motivates people to do the same. So big shout out to Ciel
big
Noir
shout out.
3. Also, a big happy Christmas to everyone
Yeah.
who's been listening to the show over the past, 3 and a bit years or so.
Oh,
I hope
crazy.
everyone's Christmas has been great. And to make your Christmas even better, because we know there's a few shows coming out on Disney Plus, all you need to do to win our Disney Plus giveaway is write a review. Let us know about that review, and we will send you a free Disney Plus subscription until the 30th of April 2022. So there you go. Easy as that. That's all you got to do.
Easy, easy,
Easy
easy,
as
easy,
pie.
easy.
Yep.
And listen, that's a great prize. Like Deval, seriously, I listen to other film podcasts. I do because I check out the competition. Like we always got to kind
Yeah.
of check out the competition, right? And
Of
trust me,
course.
this prize is nothing. Seriously, this is the top of the whatever you want to say, man.
Yeah.
So listen, folks, get on to this. Because April's going to be fast approaching, and you're going to miss all the Disney Plus
Mm.
shows and movies and whatnot. Just get onto it, and we'll appreciate you even more for doing that, for winning it. So listen, look, let's get on to movie news now. Michael Keaton, he's yeah, man. We saw him recently. What did we saw like an action film that he was in recently, wasn't it? Like an assassin movie. What was that one?
Oh, damn. Yes. Oh, man. My mind's gone now. Was it the one? No, it wasn't. It wasn't Kate, was it? That was Woody Harrelson.
That was Woody
Uh,
Harrelson.
yeah, I'm not sure what it was, to be honest. My mind's gone blank. All that
Yeah.
Christmas food.
He was in a film that popped up kind of recently, and
Yeah.
we watched it
Oh, he's in
on
that one
Amazon
on
Prime.
Disney Plus. Dope. Is it Dope
Yes,
something?
he's on that.
That's a really
He's
good
in that.
series, by the way. Really good
Yeah,
series from what I
I've
hear.
heard
So
about
go
it.
watch that on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but Michael Keaton, he's like, obviously been around for a
Mm.
while now. Like, Beetlejuice, Batman, obviously Batman's one,
Beetlejuice.
two, and was he in the third one as well? I can't remember.
Nah, someone else.
Val Kilmer, I think that one was.
Yeah, just on
But
two of them.
yeah. So what's this? He's back in our movie news. What's going on over here? Michael Keaton
Yeah.
is up. Like, what's going on?
As we know, he's reprising his role as Batman in The Flash. That one's going to get very multiversal, very crazy. We know he's in that, but I think he's done so well in that movie that the producers, the directors, everyone involved, all the big wigs thought, hmm, this guy's got to come back. We can't just have one little piece of him. We need all of him. So, from what I understand, is that he has signed up to do a new movie. Whether that
Wow.
is another actual Batman movie, I don't know. It could be the sequel to The Flash. It could be another DC movie where he, makes a cameo of some sort. But what I do know is we're going to see him again. So he'll be back. That's really good news.
And he's going to be back again in the well, Sony MCU. He's going to
Yeah.
be playing Vulture in Morbius.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So that all ties in with the whole Spider-Man, obviously, universe.
Hmm.
So he's dipping his toes, man, with the MCU and Sony and DC. This guy.
Yeah. Yeah. More Keaton, man. More Keaton.
And who knows, maybe there'll be a Beetlejuice movie around the corner as well. All right, listen, look,
Beetlejuice 2.
Talking about Spider-Man, Deval, let's talk about this. So, No Way Home, you've seen it kind of a few times. I've seen it a couple of times, and people seen it, and they said that they like it. The people that I know said that they love it as well.
Yeah.
But this movie is breaking some records. It's COVID era. So what's going on here?
Mm. That's a really good point, actually, because in the COVID era, in even regular eras, any regular eras,
It's true.
any movie hitting that $1 billion mark worldwide is really, really good. And to do it
Yeah,
in COVID, I think is actually testament to just how good the
yeah,
movie is. So yeah, Spider-Man: No Way Home has hit 1 billion worldwide,
mad.
and yeah, worldwide, and it's looking like it could get to that. I don't know if it will get to 2 billion, but it's going to get really, really, high financial revenue from this movie. So I think that just goes to show why Sony were so reluctant to sell their IP to Disney.
Yeah,
Uh, so and also yeah, so I think because of the revenue that that the movie is going to actually get, I wonder if Tom Holland's new contract is going to reflect that. I mean, he's done
yeah.
3 movies. We know he's going to do more. So is he going to be getting paid like how Robert Downey Jr. was in Avengers and so on, like
Yeah,
$50 million and stuff like that?
potentially,
Possibly.
yeah.
There you go.
It's
So let's see what
potential.
happens.
And you know what? I think on the first movie, he didn't get paid that much money. Do you know that?
No.
When I was reading an article, it was in the hundreds of thousands. I mean, obviously it's a lot of money,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
comparing it with the other guys, I think it wasn't a lot. And then they just slowly started,
Mm.
obviously, getting more and more. But now, if they are going to be doing a new trilogy, yeah, man, trust me, it's going to rake in the bucks. Um, I was reading something else just on this. This is Toby Maguire's highest grossing movie as well.
Oh, serious? Oh, because he was in it, of
Yes.
course. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you got, but also you got to kind of put it down to, one thing though, Deval, who do you put this success down to? Is it down to Sony or is it down to Marvel?
Well, it's down to Marvel because Marvel are the creative, you know,
Force
drivers
behind it.
behind these movies. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sony front up the cash, and they are obviously they got the name on the brand and so on. But Marvel have the creative direction of this. So I
Yeah.
think Marvel are the reason, definitely.
Big
Yeah.
time. I tell you what, if Sony want more success, man, they've got to try and link up with Marvel on, well, I mean, who else? I mean, like,
And
I
the
don't know,
others,
Sinister
Michael
Six?
Morbius, Venom. I
Yes.
mean, Venom 2 was anyway, it
Yeah.
wasn't that good in my opinion, but yeah, man. And if they want
It's
to
so
bring in
true.
Craven the Hunter and all those other guys, they need to get in, they need to get in bed with Marvel and stay there.
Trust me, bring in Kevin, and I reckon he's going to basically run everything. All
Yeah.
right, listen, look, we've kept it short with the movie news because we've got other things to speak about, and one of those things is streaming. Hawkeye, it ended. We've seen
Mm.
now, so go out and check out all 6 episodes of those. And yeah, man. So the big thing for me, Deval, though, is it was obviously Kingpin. For me, that was kind of like the whole thing. Seeing
Yeah.
Kingpin in this, seeing those moments of him losing his shit. Right,
Yeah.
that there's a couple of
He was
instances in this
sweating as
final.
well one time. I was like,
Oh
huh?
man,
Kingpin's sweating. I don't know if that
there's
was on
this.
purpose or not.
I know. I think they did that just to kind of show that how crazy this guy is. But listen, there's a fight scene between Kate Bishop and Kingpin in this, right? Where
Yeah.
man, this guy, I can't remember in the comic books, is he supposed to be some sort of next level powerful guy? Because he was taking some
Yeah.
shots, man.
Yeah. He's supposed to be a bit, I don't know why he's so powerful, but he is more powerful than the average bear.
Yeah,
But that fight on that fight scene, I was a little bit disappointed. This episode for me was a little bit disappointing. It
yeah.
had its moments, but
But
just on that fight scene, I mean, Kate Bishop should have no right
no
to.
way to
Even
get lay
Hawkeye
a
said
finger on
you
him.
shouldn't walk away from. He hit her where she
Yeah,
flew across the room.
yeah,
I know
exactly.
with regular, superheroes, yeah, they can take it, but Kate Bishop
Yeah.
can't be taking those licks from from
Trust me,
from
it's
from
true.
Kingpin. Nah,
He
and
punches her in the stomach. She goes flying across the
exactly,
room, and I'm like, okay, there's going to be no comeback from that. And then he shoots her with one of the arrows, and he's just like, he just breaks it off.
yeah,
And I was just like, man, this guy is seriously, he's like, serious badass, right? So he's in the picture now. He's part of the kind of MCU. Kate Bishop, obviously, the way they end it is, you know, they, potentially there could be another Hawkeye, right? With Jeremy Renner being coming back in it.
mm,
They've
yeah,
left it open for something like that.
yeah,
Um, and then obviously there's emotional kind of like arc in there with Black Widow's sister Yelena. She wants to take out Hawkeye because obviously the death of her sister, and they kind of like reconcile, and they kind of deal with that whole thing, and they kind of just like, okay, whatever. And then yeah, Echo, that was dealt with in a way in which obviously she finds out that Kingpin is obviously the baddie, so we know
yeah,
further down the line she's going to get her own show,
yeah.
and then she's going to come back and do whatever. But yeah, what did you make of the whole kind of season overall?
Yeah, it was a little bit underwhelming. Like I said, it had its moments. There's moments of redemption, like you said with
Mm,
Echo, when it turns out she's going to be more of a goodie than a baddie type
yeah,
situation. We saw also the Sword Man. Kate Bishop's mum's boyfriend.
yeah,
It turns out he's not a baddie. He's just
yeah.
a
He's not a baddie.
funny, goofy
The
guy. So
mum
he
was the
helped
baddie.
out. Exactly. It turned out the mum was a baddie, and Kate Bishop, she turned her mum in, and all that sort of thing, because her mum actually, killed their uncle with the sword.
Yeah,
But it was a bit underwhelming. I think just the way, I mean, okay, the good parts I think was the arrow fights. There's all these silly tracksuit mafia guys who really pose no threat. I mean, in
exactly,
this movie, at no time did I think anyone was going to be really hurt or die.
exactly.
That's the only thing for me. It was almost like a comedy series. No
Yeah,
one was going to get hurt. It was all going to be okay. Even when uh, uh, what's her name? Belova, Yelana Belova's character got introduced, and she's meant to kill Hawkeye. We know that's not going to happen.
yeah.
Her and Kate Bishop are making friends, cracking jokes, and all that
Friends,
kind of
I
stuff.
know.
And then obviously we got to see Kingpin in the flesh, fully speaking, all involved,
Yep.
fighting. And then obviously, okay, spoiler alert, but we see him just get dealt with just like that. And we thought, oh,
And
then
then,
okay, Kingpin's in the MCU, great. We saw Daredevil the week before in Spider Man. We've
yeah,
seen Kingpin. We think, okay, yeah, he's going to be involved. No, that's it. He's done.
that is it.
Well, we think he's done, but yeah, he looks.
Yeah.
It looks like Kingpin's out of it. And
So it's just like,
yeah,
yeah, where are they going to go with this? Yeah, I'm like you on that one. It being all, a bit underwhelming. Um,
and
there's this thing.
the post credits, man, was a silly song. I mean, yeah, the
What?
song, it's a bit, cheesy or
Yeah, a
whatever,
bit of
but
an Easter egg
post
thing,
credits,
but
give me some post credits, man.
I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then let's just quickly, briefly speak about this. So Hawkeye's wife,
Mm,
there's a little strand. There's a story within the whole kind of 6 episodes where they're looking, where Hawkeye has to get hold of a watch. That
mm,
watch is really important to Hawkeye and his wife,
yeah.
because then according to the comics, like she's like a character called Mockingbird, and she
Okay.
was part of Shield, and
Uh,
it was like
um,
her identity then is kind of like kept a secret and everything like that. So maybe they might
mm,
explore that later on. But
okay.
yeah, so she was a Shield agent, whatever.
Mm.
So that was all fine. But there was one other thing that I was going to mention where there was just like they kind of glossed over it.
What, their son that got no dialogue?
What
The
the
oldest
hell?
son.
Exactly.
I
Like,
feel
where
sorry
did
for
that all
him.
come from? You know what would have made it interesting if they'd included Turk?
Yeah, because Turk used to show up in all the MCU, sorry, the Daredevil shows. Well, I guess we
Yes.
saw him in Don't Look Up, so we'll talk about
Yeah,
him later.
exactly. Yeah, that's why I
But I
brought it
like
up. Yeah.
Turk, man. Turk is that goofy
Imagine seeing
character.
Turk being kind of like, there as well, like as one of the informants and like the good guy,
Yeah,
but a bad guy, but he's also a good guy type of a thing.
Turk.
So yeah, listen, there's so many things that they could have done with this. Um, can you remind all our listeners when is the next Disney show. So Marvel Disney show, the next one.
It's Boba Fett. Oh, you mean the Marvel? Okay, sorry. Yeah, the Marvel Disney one is going to be. I believe it's going to be Kamala Khan. You know, no,
Okay, so that's
no,
going
no,
to be
no,
the
no.
Marvel,
Moon Knight. I think it's Moon Knight. Either
right?
Moon Knight or Kamala Khan. It's going to be in spring.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's
All right,
next.
so that's
Yeah,
going to be the next big one then,
yeah.
and yeah, and we obviously will be speaking about that. And before then, we've got Doctor Strange. But anyway, listen, look, check out Hawkeye if you're a fan of a character. You know,
Mm.
it's a it's kind of like an extension of his story, all right? So you can go check that one out. And yeah, so new trailers. Let's check out new trailers, Deval. So I want to speak about this, Death on the Nile. Now we saw this movie. The what was the first one of this one again?
The first one was on the train, wasn't it?
The
On the
train,
Orient
Death on the
Express.
Train. No, okay, that's it. Yeah, Murder on the Orient
Orient
Express.
Express.
Remember, we
Yeah,
saw it. It was Kenneth Branagh. It had like Daisy Ridley. It had like Johnny Depp in it. It had kind of like a whole host of that one. So that's
yeah.
fine. So this is now the Poirot character doing the next kind of film, right?
Mm. Yes, that's right. Yeah, so directed by Kenneth Branagh, who also plays Hercule Poirot,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's basically Agatha Christie's novels,
yeah,
which is a big murder mystery, and many different actors, many different stars are involved in this one. I'll just reel off a few. So obviously Kenneth Branagh, we've got Gal Gadot,
okay,
we've got Sophie Okonedo, we've got Rose Leslie, who plays Ingrid in Game of Thrones. You know nothing, Jon Snow. We've
yeah,
got Armie Hammer, who's in this one. We've got Letitia Wright. We've got who else? We've got Russell Brand in this as well.
yeah,
We've got quite a few stars, so it should be an interesting one. They're all on this, boat on the Nile in Egypt, I presume,
yeah,
and death happens, and Hercule Poirot has to solve the mystery, and
yeah,
we don't know who it is until the last minute. So I think it's going to be a trilogy of some sort. There should be another one, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it
There
looks
probably is.
interesting. Yeah, this one's
Yeah.
out. When's this out? This is out in February the
Okay.
11th, just before
Yeah.
Valentine's.
Just before Valentine's. All right. What else have we got?
Next one that we have is this one.
The no.
This
Yeah.
one looks really, really good. This is the Northman. Is it
Yeah.
Northman or the Northman? One of them. But
Yeah.
it's Robert Eggers who directed some of the most
The
visceral
Witch.
movies of the past, few years. The Witch, like you just said, the
The
Lighthouse,
Lighthouse. Remember that
the
crazy movie?
Lighthouse, exactly. And all these films, like The Witch, in that film, that stars our friend, what's her name again?
Uh,
Uh,
Anya.
Anya Taylor Joy. Yeah, she's really good in that one.
She's really good.
That was from like New England, sort of the Salem witch trial, kind of 1600s, and the family is like there's a like
They've
a,
been
s- like
banished or
a sort of
something.
they've been banished from their village, and there's a demonic sort of, I don't know, force around them. That whole film was filmed using natural light. There
Yeah.
was not one electronic light on that film. The Witch came out in 2015. I went to the cinema. Scary. The
Yes.
Lighthouse again. That's with Robert
Um.
Pattinson and Willem
And
Dafoe. Is it?
yeah, and Goblin.
And oh my gosh, two actors that are really good. We just saw Green
Crazy.
Goblin and Spider Man. Crazy. And this film is about the Northman who stars, what's his name? Eric.
Is it
I say
Skarsgård?
Eric Skarsgård. I call him Eric because he's in. He was in Blood. What's it called? True Blood, and his name was Eric in True Blood. So I got
Eric.
that
And
mixed
yeah,
up.
yeah.
But yeah,
And he was in
Skarsgård
Godzilla. He was in King Kong. We were
is in.
watching that the other day.
Yeah,
Godzilla, King Kong.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it stars him, and it's of some, and also Anya Taylor Joy's in it. But it's like from Norse mythology,
Yeah.
and his father was like a leader who was killed, and he's getting revenge on his father's killing. And this one just looks, again, it looks like a crazy. This one looks
Yeah.
more of a, I don't know. This one looks more of a I don't know. I'm choosing my words wrong, but this one seems more like a, almost like a classical Hollywood movie revenge kind of situation.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's going to have the Robert Eggers touch on it, which means it's not going to be your normal kind
Nah.
of film. It's going to be very blunt and very blatant, very graphic as well in some parts. So
Yeah,
get
let's
ready for
hope
that.
so.
So this looks great. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to say in that one. The Northman. Go check out that trailer right now.
Definitely. And when that, sorry, when is that one coming out again?
That one's out real soon, actually. That one's out in January, I believe. Yeah, January.
Okay.
Mm,
Yeah, no, that's definitely on our watch list. We'll be watching that one. And then the other one that you've got on here is Doctor Strange 2. So now there's trailers being released. And if you'd have watched Spider Man No Way Home, the end credit scene, the final end credit scene is basically the trailer for Doctor Strange Part 2. So,
mm.
yeah, man. So let's just kind of, for people who haven't, seen the trailer or they have seen it and they want to hear us speak about it. But again, this is just making me want to watch. I can't wait for May.
Mate,
I
mate,
remember they
mate.
delayed this. This was supposed to be coming out in March, wasn't
March.
it, or something?
Yeah. And I reckon they've delayed it because I reckon that Moon Knight will come out in March, and then by the end of Moon Knight, I think then this will come out in time. That's what I
Right.
think. But yeah, this trailer looks decent. Like you said, we
Yeah.
saw it at the end of Spider Man, but now you can see it for yourself in your own time, and it's just Doctor Strange going through a multiverse, and the title is Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness. So he's within
Yeah.
that shit. And is
Yes.
that in the multiverse or is it within his mind? We see two Doctor Stranges,
Good
so we
point.
don't know how many Doctor Stranges we're going to get. Some people say it could be like the Council of Reeds from the comics,
Uh,
where Reed Richards had lots of different of himself to try and solve multiversal problems. Some people are saying we could get a little snippet of that and have a few Doctor Stranges. We're going to have America Chavez opening portals willy
yeah.
nilly, just like that.
Exactly.
And we're seeing what's her name, Rachel McAdams. She's
Yeah.
in the movie.
There's like a
The
wedding
lady that
scene in there.
exactly. Scarlet Witch is in it. We're seeing something that looks like Shumagarath in the film. I mean, what is gonna go on?
Oh
Oh,
man.
mate,
You know what?
mate.
With this one, what we all we will say is this: uh, watching this trailer and obviously watching when you end up watching it, I think you do have to watch What If.
Yes,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
that's going to definitely be something that you should watch. What If, and obviously watch the first Doctor Strange movie, but also One Division, obviously because it connects the dots. But check this out. I went back and I was watching, just kind of had it on in the background, Doctor Strange, the first part,
Mm,
and the ancient one. The amount of
yep.
times that they mentioned the multiverse
Yes, yeah,
in that
yeah.
movie, and I'm seriously, man, it's just like
Mm,
it's even from Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange, they've been talking about the multiverse. Like, you know what?
mm,
There's other realms out there,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and I love that whole scene where she kind of plays around with his mind. She she takes him on this thing. He goes through space. He
mm,
goes through all these
mm,
different dimensions and everything. I thought, you know what?
mm,
This is brilliant. So you have to watch that obviously because Mordo's in that one, and you got to find out what happens to him
mm,
by the end of that one. But yeah, man, this is looking great. It's looking a good
mm,
start to the year, and go check out the trailer.
mm. Definitely go check that out now. Now.
Yes. All right. Okay. And what else can people check out? Oh, here we go. On Anniversary Corner, we're bringing you a movie from 15 years ago, 2006. This is Richard Linklater, isn't it? This one, Deval. Um,
I believe you are correct. Yeah, Richard Linklater. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So this is A Scanner Darkly. And I remember this movie because it was done in a technique called rotoscope. Is that, I think that's kind of
Look
like
at you
what it's
getting all
called, where
technical. Getting all
you know what?
technical.
Because I remember when this movie came out, I was like, shit, how are they making this movie? It stars Keanu Reeves, it stars Robert
Yeah.
Downey Jr., and
Winona Ryder as well. His
yes,
wife,
his wife,
Keanu Reeves.
apparently. Yeah. And they didn't use the technique where the actors are obviously acting out the scene, but they've
Mm,
colored it or they've drawn over it using a technique called rotoscope.
mm,
So I'm not kind of exactly sure what that is, and I can't remember if I've seen anything recently with rotoscope. But yeah, at the time there was a bit of a kind of like, oh yeah, man, this is done by rotoscope. I don't think it kind of blew the box office alight, if I'm being
no, it
honest.
didn't. No. So it's about an undercover cop in the
Mm,
not too distant future becomes involved in a dangerous new drug that begins to lose uh, his identity as a result, basically. So
that's it.
it's very, very like I don't know, a bit shady, a bit what's the word I'm looking for? A bit undercover kind of
Yeah,
situation,
grey.
and just a bit, inconspicuous, kind of like looking from the corner from afar, hoping they don't see you,
Mm.
but you don't know who you are as well. You like look in the mirror and think, shit, is that me or is that him? Who is it? You know? So It's a weird film.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just had a quick look at this on Wikipedia. It's based on a novel by Philip K. Dick,
Oh my gosh!
and he's
If androids drink of no,
if
if
androids dream of
androids
electric
dream of
sheep.
electric sheep, that's the one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Blade Runner. Yeah,
Total Recall,
yeah.
um, obviously
The
Blade Runner and all that.
Blade
So this
Runner. Yeah.
guy so yeah, it comes
Shit.
from like this guy Philip K. Dick. He's written a lot of
Yeah.
kind of science fiction novels and everything. So like really well respected. I don't think,
Mm.
from what I remember, it whether or not they stuck to the source material a lot, but this Scanner Darkly is based on that.
Mm.
And yeah, I just kind of remember it for being the movie where it had obviously Keanu Reeves, and he was
Yeah.
big back in early 2000s, wasn't he? He was
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
wasn't he?
Of the Matrix, man. I mean, this came out in what 2006. So he done
Yeah.
Matrix 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, he was still doing his thing, man. Mm.
Mm. Still
Before
doing
the
his thing, man.
MCU, Robert Downey Jr. was trying to get out of his rut.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, and that fits in nicely with obviously the first movie that we're going to be speaking about. Obviously, Keanu Reeves, science fiction,
mm,
um, and so we're going to be speaking about the Matrix Resurrections. And listen, look, Devout, before we even just continue this, I just want to say one thing. 1999, the
yeah,
Matrix movie,
yeah.
when that came out, for me, it was seminal. It was so important, like in terms of storytelling and just the technology that they used,
Mm-hmm.
right? Way ahead of the game, like in terms of kind of like all the other types of movies that came out, directed by the Wachowski siblings, and Keanu Reeves, Carrie Ann Moss, Lawrence Fishburne, and the movie just basically came out of nowhere. I went to the cinema to watch it, and I was just blown away by it. I remember watching it at Park Royal. So
Yeah,
when
me too.
yeah,
View.
so yeah, have you exactly. So listen, my question was with this Matrix Resurrections, are we going to get something seminal? Are we going to get something of the
Mm.
same caliber as that 1999, or obviously you could hardly ever top the original movies, but are we going to get something in the same ballpark? And I mean, seriously, there were moments in the movie where I was like falling asleep.
Me too. And I had to get the popcorn out to keep me awake. Yeah, me too.
This is
Me
bad.
too.
Like we've waited what, how many years? 20 years for this?
19, I think it is. Yeah, 19 years. 99, 2000.
19 or 20 years. They
No, no,
decided,
the 21 years. You're right. Yeah, it's
sorry,
more than
21
20.
years.
Yeah, shit. Yeah.
And Keanu Reeves was basically being interviewed recently. He said now was the perfect time to bring out this movie. And after watching this movie,
Years.
I'm like, listen, take back those words. There was no perfect time to make this movie. Seriously, Keanu, man, we love you to bits, but
Oh,
seriously,
man.
this is no way like seminal or kind of like you're giving us something
Mm.
that we've been waiting for. But basically, the Matrix Resurrections is out, and yeah, Devour. I mean, what can in terms of plot? I can't even like.
Do you know
There's
what? With this
so many
film,
threads.
my expectations were low.
Yeah, I
They were lower
remember you
than a
saying that.
snake's belly. Honestly, they were low, low, and they still let me down. That's how bad it was. It let me down. It let me down. I wasn't expecting much, and I got less than that. And I was in the cinema. I
Exactly.
actually went to cinema. I paid money to watch this. I wish I didn't.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wish I didn't.
Oh
But
shit.
there was like from the get go. I thought, hold on, why are they showing me the same thing as like the
As
Matrix? Copy and
yeah,
paste. Like they didn't even like put their own name on it. They copied and pasted it and handed in the work with the
yeah.
previous person's name on it.
Oh
I've done that once
man.
before, by the way.
Well,
And
we've all done it.
yeah, it just seemed like I don't know. The film just seemed just like I know Hollywood's running out of ideas, but this is just another level.
It
There was
took it
no
to the next level.
originality, even though they tried to make it meta and tried to talk about itself. They even mentioned in the film in one of the meetings of our parent company, Warner Brothers. I was
Warner
like,
Brothers.
"How are you
I
talking
was
about
like,
Warner Brothers, man?"
what?
Yeah, and then
I never, I didn't
the
get
agent
it.
Smith calling him Thomas or Tom. You don't do that. You're meant to call him Mr. Anderson. You don't
Oh,
call him Tom or Thomas.
there's
And then
so
just the fight
many
scenes were not
threads.
all that. The new
Yeah,
Morpheus wasn't really. He tried his thing. It's not really his fault, but it just. And even half of the film, he was that funny like ball
like
bearings thingy.
yeah, the ball bearings, like some sort of nanotechnology type of
Yeah,
thing,
no, no,
following them
exactly.
around.
I
Man,
don't
I
know,
was like,
man. I was
listen,
disappointed.
seriously,
I was
they dropped
disappointed
the
in
ball.
this. Dropped it. Dropped it.
And the
Dropped
thing
it.
is, right? Um, so by the end of the movie, you're thinking, right, okay, I thought to myself, right, okay, what was the point of it? And they could technically they could make another one, but
Yeah,
I'm
I hope they
telling
don't.
you,
But
don't. I
I
hope
think Emmanuel said it might be a TV series or something like that. It might not be another movie. So that could be something that they could do, less budget and stuff like that, on
yeah,
maybe on HBO Max. But yeah, the characters, man, they just try to, yeah. And I think even the fact that only one Wachowski came back to do it, and
that's telling
obviously,
you something.
yeah, it's like it just didn't hold up, man. It didn't hold up. It did not hold
Absolutely.
up. They should have left it,
It,
because even the second and third movies, for me, they weren't all that. But even this was worse than that.
then that I
So it
know
just gets worse. It's just getting worse and worse.
is absolutely, man. I totally spot on over there. So listen, in terms of plot wise, it's like Neo doesn't know, or the memory of the Matrix 1, 2, and 3 is he thinks that is a game that he
Yeah,
created.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then there are kind of like little clues here and there where he's kind of losing his mind. He's not sure
Mm.
it was a game. It was something that he did, and then he gets kind of introduced to a new character, the one from Iron
Jessica
Fist.
Henwick. Yeah,
Yeah, Jessica
Jessica Henwick.
Henwick.
Yeah, she's really. I like her. She's good,
Yeah,
but
she's cool.
yeah.
And so she comes into the scene and she's like, "Look, no, your name is Neo, and like you are the one." And it wasn't a game; it was actually a thing called the Matrix. So
Mm.
then Neo then gets sucked back into that whole world, and Jada. He ends up meeting Jada Pinkett Smith. She's in it as well, and I don't know, man. I just like
Mm.
the plot is just all over the place. Like seriously,
Mm.
I just like wasn't having any of it.
Nah, I wasn't having. I don't think they were. I think they maybe came to it with good intentions, but it just didn't work. And they have to now promote it. They have to see it through. They'll have to
Yeah,
get their pay. Obviously, it is what it is. There just wasn't many. Even the technology side, like you think it's going to be something leaps and bounds, but
bounds.
maybe, yeah, they just couldn't do it. There was
Yeah.
nothing wow about it. Nothing wow. There wasn't even any funny moments apart from when Neo tried to fly and he couldn't fly. That was the
Yeah,
only kind
that
of funny
one
moment.
second.
Exactly. And then Neil Patrick Harris's, is that his name? Neil Patrick Harris,
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
what was
Doogie
he, the
Howser.
administrator or something like that? I can't remember what
He
his
was.
role
Yeah,
was.
he's like the architect or something, isn't he, or
Something
something?
like that. Yeah, he was trying to, throw us lots of words and stuff like that and talk. He had this power where he could make things slow motion, but still,
Bullet
how did
time.
they? Yeah, like they still couldn't beat him, and they had this swarm mode where there's so many people around. When they got to that swarm mode, it looked like a Channel Five movie. And Channel Five, for people that don't know, is like the sort
Shit.
of channel where a lot of the shit movies go on, and it just seemed Matrix then seemed like a Channel Five movie to me. It just didn't
That's so
seem
funny.
proper. Yeah,
Proper. Trust me, man. It's like, oh my gosh, like you know what, Hollywood do better. Like, you listen,
yeah,
you got Keanu Reeves, you got Carrie Ann Moss,
yeah,
you got these great
yeah, yeah,
actors.
yeah.
Flipping do better. Like, why can you
Mm.
not just come up with something decent?
And then
So listen, look,
Merovingian looking all raggedy and just shouting from some scaffolding.
what was that? And then at the end, he spits. And I was just like, what? This is like a caricature. This is like so
uh,
bad. They got this
uh,
French guy to like come back and then he
uh,
spits and everything. It was just really, really shit, basically. So listen, look, I mean, I hope John Wick 4. No, is it John Wick 4?
mm.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah,
John Wick
four.
4 is going to be, it should hopefully be better than this. But
Mm.
yeah, man. So listen, look, that's a big thumbs down from me.
Yeah,
I'd rather take um, the blue pill.
yeah. You're right. Let me stay in there, man. Let me stay in the Matrix.
Exactly.
I don't want to.
Let me stay.
This is what
We
you're
don't want to
showing
know
me.
about the
Keep it.
Matrix.
Yep, yep.
Exactly. So let's forget that one. Now, listen, talking about reboots, talking about
Yeah.
like, bringing stuff back. Check this one out.
Ah,
Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. So listen, Deval, man, there's
ah,
been like, listen, you know more than anyone. There's been like, what, 6, 7 movies. There's been like, obviously, this is a game adaptation. Resident Evil, great on Sega and everything, big hit.
yeah.
But yeah, man, where are we with this new Resident Evil movie?
Rubbish. Should we move on?
Shit, man, we're not
This is
doing
set
great
in
today.
1988, so they kind of go back to the old school with this one. Tried to make
Yeah.
it a bit more old school. It's set in Raccoon City, where I think the outbreak originally happens. The town is sort of overwhelmed with this T virus that turns people into these sorts of zombie like people. Robbie Amell stars in this film. We've seen him in like the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
Tom Hooper, who must also have Rihanna's Umbrella on his playlist because he's been in the Umbrella Academy. On Netflix. Is that what it's called? The Umbrella
Oh
Academy.
shit! Yes.
The
Yeah.
tall
Yeah.
guy.
That. Yeah. British
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Yes, he's been in the Umbrella Academy and he's now in Raccoon City, trying to fight the Umbrella Corporation. So this
Oh my
guy is just
god.
all about Ella, 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 eh. You know what I mean? He's all about the umbrellas. Um, and there's also got Neil McDonough, who's also been in the Arrowverse. He had the sort of silver hair in the
Oh, okay.
Arrowverse. So yeah, basically this movie was not good. Yeah, this movie was not good. That's all I can say. It didn't have the special effects were not all that.
Yeah.
It actually seemed like more of a B movie. I'm not gonna lie, no
Yeah.
disrespect to movie makers, but this
Sure.
didn't seem of the Resident Evil level that we used to get with
Before
Mila
back in the day.
Jovovich. Yeah, that was Resident Evil. This seems a lot lower than that. The characters were not. Yeah, the characters themselves, as the heroes as they were, mm, even towards the end, like the baddie turns into a grotesquely mutated version of a Resident
Right.
Evil kind of thing, and
Yeah.
they just got a bazooka and just blew him up. It's so
Blew him up.
easy, so simple. The movie
Ah.
was just I was waiting for it to end, and when it ended like that. No joke. When it ended, it was like that.
Oh
Literally, it's
my
almost like there
gosh.
was a fire alarm, and they had to quickly
Had to quickly
wrap
get
up
the hell out of there.
yeah, let's quickly shoot. It's quick, last shot. Okay, we're done. And they just walked towards the screen and it was done. This movie was not good. Resident Evil, not a good welcome to Raccoon City. So keep moving. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going
Keep
to say. We
driving
can
on.
move on to the
Oh
next.
my god.
Honestly, yeah, that's
Exactly.
it.
All right. Forget that one. All right. Okay. So that leaves us a bit of time to speak about this next one. So this is like kind of a Netflix exclusive. This dropped like what? When did this drop? Was it
2
yesterday or
days
something?
ago. Yeah, about
Yeah, a
2 days
couple of
ago.
days ago. A
Yeah,
couple of days ago.
Christmas Eve, I think it was.
Yeah, a couple of days ago. And this is huge. I reckon this is like a huge, like kind of like a coup for Netflix where they can
Yeah.
bag Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. They
Mm.
are the biggest stars
Meryl
basically in
Streep,
Hollywood.
man. Meryl Streep, Kate Blanchett, who I actually didn't realize it was her until
Oh
halfway
my
through the movie. I was
gosh.
like, she looks
Yes.
familiar. She looks familiar. I didn't know it was her. We've
Yeah.
got Tyler Perry. We've got
Yes.
Rob Morgan, otherwise known as Turk.
Turk
We've got Jonah Hill. We've got Timothy Chalamet. He keeps popping up everywhere these
everywhere
days.
now
We've got
after
Ron
Dune. Yeah.
Perlman. We've got Ariana Grande. We've got, what's his name? Tamwa from EastEnders. Himesh
Oh,
Patel. He is doing
yes.
some gangster movements. This guy,
He's doing.
he was a Tenet.
He was in
Tenet.
Tenet.
This guy is doing
Yes.
some gangster. He was in that film
Yes.
you saw where it's like the Beatles in it.
Yesterday he was in that. He was the
Yeah,
lead in
he's
that one.
honestly he's doing
He
some
popped
gangster
up in it.
movements from EastEnders. He's doing
Y-
well,
Yeah, so
but
it's got this whole host,
yeah,
and the fact that they managed to get kind of like all these people together,
yeah.
and the director of this movie, he did The Big Short, and
Mm, mm.
that movie,
Adam McKay. Yeah.
that's it, and he's done like Ron, Anchorman. He did
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
basically his background's in
Vice.
comedy.
Yeah.
That's it. He's kind of like a background in comedy and everything, and what he's done is he's kind of done something similar to kind of like The Big Short, where The Big Short was
Mm,
about kind of the financial crisis and like
mm.
what people are doing with with the mortgage issue that was going on in America, and what happened with the it's this thing that they were doing in America where they were lending. Basically, The Big Short starred like big name actors,
Yeah.
and they've done kind of something similar over here where the movie's political, it's satirical, it's kind of like a bit farcical,
Mm,
and there's obviously a message in there, and we'll get to that in a moment. But Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, they play kind of scientists. They find, well, Jennifer Lawrence, she discovers a comet is on its way to Earth, and it's going to collide with the Earth, and it's kind of like a end. It's like an Avengers level
Extinction
threat,
level
basically.
event.
Yeah,
What did we say?
basically,
Avengers level threat.
basically, it's
Like
like
Sokovia.
yeah, basically, it's like an extinction level threat, right?
Yeah. And
And
where's it going
they've
to land? Remember where it's going to land?
Chile.
Near
It's gonna
Chile.
land in
I was
Chile.
thinking of
Oh
you. I was
my
thinking, oh my
gosh,
gosh.
man! My ears pricked up as soon as I heard that. I was like, shit! Oh wow! So they discover this and they lose their shit immediately. They're like, okay, we've got to kind of we've got to let NASA know, we've got to let the government know.
Mm.
And the funny thing is, no one takes them seriously.
Mm.
Absolutely no one is taking them seriously, especially the president, who's played by Meryl
Yeah.
Streep. She's like, right, is this really important right now? And
Yeah.
then, they basically get sidelined. So, which was all really, really funny. And then
Yeah.
the movie is about them trying to deal with this whole thing about this comet trying to hit Earth and them trying to kind of let people know about it and people just basically ignoring it. You mentioned Ariana Grande. She was on this she's on this talk show, and
Yeah.
her news is more important than their news.
Yeah. And it's actually true of life. There's certain situations in
Big
life
time.
where the celebrity situations and gossip and all that, that's the big news. When
Yeah,
it comes to climate change or some stuff that's going to affect the future in a
yeah.
really profound way, people don't really, that's not top of their agenda. But
No.
this actually is a real slice of life, isn't it? Of what actually
Yeah.
happens,
Yeah,
but in a funny way.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought all that was funny, like the way they deal with it. There's they also kind of like mention, well, not mention, but they kind of show like the gender kind of like disparity. So
Mm.
there's Jennifer Lawrence. She gets the comet named after her,
Yeah.
and it's kind of almost like as if like she's the kind of like the bad person, like
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence's character. She's the crazy one. She's
Debbie
the one who
Downer.
loses it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She's the one who loses her shit on TV. And then Leonardo DiCaprio, who's the male, he's like
Yeah.
seen as the astronaut that people love, and like he's
Mm.
he's the kind
Good
of
looking
the good
one and all
looking one.
that.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah.
So they all these things you got to kind of read between the line of what's going on. But basically, the political message is like we need to look after our planet, man. This is
Mm.
like there's
Mm.
so at the end of the day, there's like people are so interested in kind of like we're all kind of in our mobile phones. There's that as well
Mm.
that we're forgetting. That Greta Thunberg would love this movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she would. And
Exactly.
David Attenborough as well.
David Attenborough, all those
And
guys, they're
Brian
gonna
Cox.
they would love it.
Mm.
So it's entertaining. It's like I'm not. I think I like The Big Short probably a bit more. I'd probably say, but
Okay.
this one is kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio, watching him play, kind of like he's a bit crazy in this as well. Like he loses his shit
Professor.
a couple
Yeah, he
times.
turns a bit crazy. Yeah. But
Yeah,
there's some really
exactly.
funny moments. I actually watched this film. I started watching it, and this is a sign of a good film. I started watching this midnight Christmas Eve,
Is
and I
it?
finished. It's a 2 hour, 15-minute film, roughly. And I
Yeah,
didn't fall asleep. I was up until the end watching it.
and
And you
yeah,
get two post-credit scenes in this.
yes, mad.
You get two post-credit scenes in this,
Set in the
which you don't
future,
often
and
get. Yeah, it's funny post-credit scenes as well. So
yeah,
yeah, I really like this film. The title "Don't Look Up" also plays into some of the events of the film because
yep,
the news tells us what to do, how to
yeah.
act, and the people start to believe and act upon what they hear in the news, and they don't look up because the news says don't look up, nothing's coming
Because everyone's down there
until
on their phone.
exactly until something's coming, and then they see it
Mm.
and think shit, they were telling the truth, and mayhem ensues all over Earth. So
Yeah,
it's actually
yeah,
yeah, this film actually is quite. When you watch, you're right. When you watch it and break it down, even though it's delivered in a sort of funny way, it's
yeah.
actually quite a serious thing.
It
It's,
is.
it's
It is.
information, responsibility. Power, politics. All these things are happening in real life every single day.
Yeah,
And how
yeah.
much of it are you actually aware of?
People will remember. I think, like Donald Trump when he was president, they were
Mm,
said to him about climate change, and he just
yeah,
basically ignored. He just kind of like ignoring it. Oh yeah, yeah. Don't worry about that. We'll kind of deal with it. And in the
yeah,
movie, they kind of go to the president
yeah,
and they kind of say, look, this is the situation. She's like, oh, don't worry about that. So it was so much like I kind
yeah.
of like saw a lot of stuff. But there's one bit in the movie where Turk, where
Hmm.
he plays like a professor. He's it just made me laugh. I don't know why it made me laugh. There's a bit where he's stuck in a room with Jennifer Lawrence's character, and he tells a
Mm.
story about him meeting Sting. Do you
Okay.
remember that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
And in the story that he tells, right, he says, "Oh yeah, he met Sting once, and he goes, Sting looked him right in the eye and
Mm.
was like, kind of didn't like break eye contact, and he farted."
Hmm.
Just made me the way that story just comes in. I was just like, it just made me laugh. This just seriously, it's just so me sillily explaining it to you
Yeah.
like this.
You got
But
to
you
see
got to
it.
watch the
Yeah.
movie and just
And
watch it.
even
It's so
the
funny.
other silly part where the General of Defense of America or something, he came to meet the scientists before they were going to talk to the president, and they were
Yeah,
waiting for hours, and he came and brought them some snacks and said, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
these snacks, yeah, they're here you go, they're $20," and he took $20 off them, and then they found out later these snacks are free for
yeah.
everyone. You'd
And
be
it's
like,
a
but
running
why
gag.
would the General of Defense, why would the Secretary of Defense sell us these treats? Like,
Yeah,
why would he do it?
exactly.
There's no explanation for it.
There's no
It's
explanation.
mad.
It's a running gag, and Jennifer
Yeah.
Lawrence is so annoyed by that she mentions it. But listen, here's the
Yeah.
thing. Here's the thing. There's also kind of truth in that as well.
Mm.
We get sold lies
There
all the
you
time,
go. There you go.
and we buy it.
Because of who's
In
selling
this
it.
case,
They accept it.
exactly, because it's coming from someone high
Someone
in
speak.
power,
Yeah.
and like we buy it. We're like, here you go,
Yes.
take my money. Like
Yep.
big
Yep. You know
corporations
what?
take
You're
my
so
money,
right.
whatever.
You are so right.
Watch this film. It's deep.
See,
There's
I've got to
so
watch it
many
again, you
layers
know.
to it.
I'm sure there's things I missed. I've got to watch it again. There's
Yeah.
things I've missed. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, man. Me too as well.
It's a
There's
good
like
when
loads
I
of
think
stuff.
about it, it's a good film, you know.
Yeah, it's
When I
like people.
really
You
think
should
about
watch
it,
it. People
it
watch it.
comes across as
There's,
a comedy, but the comedy's just a veil. It's like you got to really look at what's going on.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And like kind of
Mm,
read between the lines and see what's
yeah,
going on, and like how in society we're kind of like preoccupied with basically just
yeah.
ourselves and shit. Um,
Okay, cool.
yeah, so go
Mm.
check them out if you can, if you want to go check out
Netflix,
Matrix and
yeah,
Resident Evil. They're out there. They're in cinema. Matrix you can catch on HBO,
HBO
and
Max, Resident Evil. You can catch that, or don't catch it maybe.
don't catch it.
And then with Don't Look
Probably
Up,
don't.
that's on Netflix right now. So you got it. You got it.
Go and enjoy it. Go and enjoy
Mm.
those. So no hidden gems for you this week. But listen, we're gonna be back in the new year, and we're gonna be doing like a best of.
Yeah.
So listen out for that one. And once again, thanks for supporting us in 2021 throughout this
Mm.
whole crazy year.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
we'll see you on the other side.
Yeah. Peace out.
All right.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters Podcast.